I can see it now as I look back at it, that whatever hit me in Peru burst that bubble that we live in. And with the bubble bursting, information and concepts and perceptions poured into my conscious mind, and you just couldn't process it. You know, when you press too many keys on a computer, it freezes because it can't process so much information at the same time. Well, that was what happened to me. And so for 3 months, I mean, I didn't know what planet I was on, where I was, or anything. And then one day, after all the ridicule and all the stuff, and that's all people remember because the media's in a time warp on that in this country, suddenly it was like everything morphed into clarity. It was like the computer just unfroze. And now, you know, people were saying to me, who knew me, hey, I thought you'd gone mad. You're the same guy I've always known. Well, on the outside, I was. David Icke was back, if you like, but not the one that had left, because now I could see the world in a completely different way, and I could see what I couldn't see before in terms of the way the world was being manipulated in a very coordinated fashion, while being presented to us as random events that aren't connected. And you know, I've come on from there. If you kind of open your self to other levels of reality, the question is absolutely what level of reality? Because you know, so many people, especially in the realm of this cabal, big time, are actually having their mental and emotion, what passes for emotion, their mental and emotional processes possessed by entities and projected possession that is controlling their thoughts and dictating their actions and perceptions in a very, very deeply malevolent, horrific way. So it's not connecting to something else, it's what are you connecting to? And in the end, what I've found over the years is there's a certain resonance, and I've learned to trust it, and I've learned to trust it because it's proved to be accurate so many times. In the end, that's the outcome. Are these different things you're perceiving in terms of communication, do they prove to be accurate or not? And there's a certain resonance when I look at something, and there's a resonance that goes, yes, 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 and there's another one that goes, no, no, no. And I've learned to feel that and see it. And you know, I've had people say to me, insiders, and they say, you know, you've quoted a disinformer in your book. I said, really? And they said, yeah, but you've only quoted him on what's true, right? Because disinformers don't tell you 100% nonsense. It's partly true to pull you in, and then they twist it. And he said, how can you do that? I said, well, I didn't knowingly do it, but something of what he was saying went, yes, yeah, and the other one went, no, no. And so there's an energetic resonance that you feel. So when I look at the direction I've been taken, and the information that's come to the surface as a result of that, information that talks about, you know, loving each other rather than hating each other, cooperating rather than competing, and all these things, coming together, putting down the fault lines that divide us of religion and race and culture and stuff. I mean, let people have them. Good luck to them. None of my business. But don't let them be this divide and rule fault line network that they are, that they've allowed to become. When I look at all that, when I look at the fact that nothing that I've been guided to communicate is about people fighting each other, hating each other, being violent or anything, then I look at that and I think, that will do me. I'm happy with the direction and the nature of the information that I've been guided to communicate, and that feels to me as if there is some force that has the interests of humanity at heart, that is trying to bring an end to these eons of human control, suppression, and horrific treatment of people in so many ways over thousands and thousands of years. So I'm at peace with that. If this guidance and everything was saying we must take up arms and fight the enemy, we must hate those that suppress us, we must hang them from trees, then I'm thinking, hold on a second, this ain't a force for good. But that's not what's happened. So that's how I've worked with it anyway.
What do you think is the structure of reality? People are talking about dimensions, timelines. It's becoming a mess, every day more and more.
Well,
imagine how really is the structure of this reality and who's behind it?
Well, this process of this hidden force guiding me, you only have to follow the clues. It was all, decided a long time ago, organized a long time ago. It's taken me through many different phases. First of all, in the early years, after the Betty Shine Peru experience, it was all about, if you like, the 5 sense level of this. It was about a cabal of families controlling the different facets of human society. It was about manipulated wars, manipulated terrorist events, and all this stuff. And then it moved through the mid to late 90s into this area that's kind of phased a lot of people, that there are non-human entities behind this, which seem to be dominated by a reptilian form, but there are many others in league with them. And then from about 2002, 2003, came for me the most important part, which was when the pieces in the puzzle started to take me down the road to understanding the nature of reality itself. And only from that perspective can you, A, see where the answers lie, and also B, in any way, fully understand the way the conspiracy works and the depth of it. It's clear to me, 22 years on, that if you are an expert on 9/11, an expert on banking scams and political scams and manipulated wars, all of which are absolutely necessary to people to know, and I do all that myself. But if that's all you do, you're still walking around the outer rim of the rabbit hole. You've not even entered it yet. And to understand the nature of reality is to, at least the foundations of it, the themes of it, is to understand the depth of this conspiracy and how it works. It's my view that, and increasingly, it's people are moving in this direction when they see the evidence, that this universe, at its foundation, is a waveform resonance information construct. It's, if you like, a harmonic information construct. That's the foundation. And that's the foundation of the human form and everything in this universe. We then decode that information from the vibrational to the electrical, which is then fed to the brain and the genetic structure, which decodes that into the form that we experience, which is a holographic reality, which appears to be solid, but can't be. I mean, this is why in quantum physics they have this mystery of how atoms are supposed to make up a solid world, but atoms have no solidity whatsoever. How can that be? The answer is, you don't have to have solid atoms to create this reality, because this reality isn't solid. It's a hologram, holographic reality. And if you look at holograms that people make and sell and stuff, the best of them look as solid as you and me, but you can put your hand through them. I mean, they're just illusions. They're illusory physical. And therefore, it's a decoding process. And, you know, when you're pushing against something, like a wall, and you can't get through it, we decode that through to the holographic level as solid pushing against solid, but actually it is a electromagnetic resistance that's causing that. And if you can change your electromagnetic state, in other words, you can change your vibrational state, then you can perform what are called miracles. You know, I mean, but you go into another level of awareness. I've seen it done, and you can walk through fire and not get burned, because you know. Something can only burn something else if you decode it that way. An illusion can't burn an illusion unless you decode it that way, because in the end it's all energy, it's all information fields. We just decode them through. Now the classic vibration to electrical to perception is the ear. All the five senses are there to turn vibrational information into electrical information, which the brain then constructs into this reality, or the whole genetic structure does. So you get the vibration in the ear, because when I'm speaking, my words are not passing between us. A vibrational field of information generated by my vocal cords is passing between us. And the only time you hear what I'm speaking is when you decode that information through the ear into the brain. So this is, I mean, I could talk forever about the illusory nature of reality and what we take to be real. And thus, this universe is a harmonic waveform information field, which is decoded through into this reality. Now, I talk in my books about what I call the hack or the distortion. And if I go on the internet with a computer expert could hack into a website or hack into a computer and could actually firewall it off so that we don't decode vast tracts of the internet. I mean, classic example is China, where they firewall off their computer system so Chinese people can't access a vast amount of the internet that the rest of us can, well, until give them time. And so when you see how this universe is an information construct, and how we decode from that construct into this reality, and our state of being and the expanded or unexpanded nature of our reality and perception is deciding what we are going to decode out of that field and what we aren't. That's why some people will get perceptions or experiences, and other people won't get that perception or have that experience.